you this. Because when you say the first 10 days are days of mercy, then you limited Allah Azza wa Jall's mercy to only 10 days. And when you say the middle 10 days are days of forgiveness, then you limited His forgiveness to only the middle 10 days. So this hadith becomes weak. As a matter of fact, the entire 30 days are days of mercy and forgiveness, and days in which one requests from Allah and asks from Allah Azza wa Jal to free his neck from the hellfire. As a matter of fact, the entire year is a year of mercy and forgiveness and freedom from the fire, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is Al-Ghaffar, He is Al-Rahim, and as long as He is Al-Ghaffar and Al-Rahim, that will remain throughout your entire life until you meet Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So based on this hadith, I wanted to speak to you something about the mercy and forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you know, this is something really important. This is something that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he establishes in a hadith, and he mentions and he speaks to us about it. And you know, if I was to ask you this question, if I was to ask you, who of you has never committed a sin before? No one would raise his hand up. I asked the question, who of you has never committed a sin before? You know, the thing is, even if I was to ask this question to the Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, they would answer in the same manner. No one would raise his hand up. Even the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. You know why? Because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he says at the end of the day, كُلُّ بَنِي آدَمَ خَطَّاء وَخَيْرُ الْخَطَّائِينَ التَّوَّابُونَ. Each and every single person, each and every single son of Adam, every person, Khatta, not only he does mistakes, but Khatta, he's a continuous wrongdoer. He continuously does wrong. And then Allah Azza, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, خَيْرُ الْخَطَّائِينَ التَّوَّابُونَ. The best of those who do the wrong are those who consistently return to Allah Azza wa Jal in forgiveness, asking Him for His forgiveness and for His mercy. So what I wanted to share with you is, what would a Sahabi do after he commits a sin? Because if that is their guidance and that's the way they dealt with a sin, then no doubt this is something for us to take a lesson from and to benefit from and to apply it in our lives. So the topic, what does a Sahabi do? How does the Sahabi react? How does the Sahabi deal with a sayyah he commits? What does he do after it? There are a few points, there are a few steps he does before. Inshallah ta'ala, I'll share with you a few. Keep them in your mind, and this is something you implement, especially in this month, and each and every single time you fell into a sin or you fall into the sin. So my dear brothers and sisters, number one, the first thing that the Sahaba would do after falling into a sin, and I mean any sin, whether it's minor or major, whatever sin it is, the first thing they would do is that they would never give up hope in the mercy and forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's number one, memorize. The first thing is that they would never ever give up hope in the mercy and forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as I said, I don't mean if they were to commit one sin or two sins, even if they were to commit 1,000,000 sins, even if they were to commit the major sins, whatever sin they did, as many as they did, it would never ever say anything about Allah Azza wa Jall's mercy and forgiveness. So in other words, when you commit the sin, go and hate yourself as much as you want, and humiliate yourself as much as you want, and be angry with yourself as much as you want. But don't blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He wasn't kind enough to forgive your sin. Your sin is one thing, and Allah's mercy and forgiveness is a totally different thing. Don't mix the two with each other. And as a matter of fact, the ulama, they say, giving up hope in Allah's mercy and forgiveness, that is a worse of a sin. It's far worse of a sin than the actual sin you will commit. Giving up hope in Allah's mercy this is a crime more than any other crime you'll ever commit. Why? Because Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says in the Quran, إِنَّهُ لَا يَيْأَسُ مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. He says, none give up hope in the mercy and forgiveness of Allah except the disbelieving nation. Giving up hope in Allah's mercy, this is a trait of disbelief. This is what the disbelievers do. When they do a sin, they automatically give up hope in Allah Azza wa Jall's mercy. You find them hopeless and eventually killing themselves, overdosing on drugs or whatever it is, because they don't have anyone to turn back to. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, وَمَنْ يَقْنَطُ مِنْ رَحْمَةِ رَبِّهِ إِلَّا الضَّالُّونَ. Who will give up hope in the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal except the misguided nation? When you give up hope in Allah's mercy, then that's a sign of misguidance. So that's the first thing. Whatever sin it is, never give up hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, and never give up hope in Allah Azza wa Jal's forgiveness. And this door, the door of Tawbah, remains open. It remains open, and forever it will remain open. It only closes in 2 times. When your soul is about to come